the noise has just gone up a level here because Liverpool and Leicester City are all set to walk out of it to this hot, steamy Hong Kong Saturday night to contest the Asia Trophy final. Leicester City, Premier League champions 2 years ago. Liverpool, the local favourites. And your match commentators, Andy Townsend and Martin Tyler.
Well, they've reached the climax of the competition by winning their semi-finals, and Liverpool did it fairly convincingly. Andy, I think 2-0 over Crystal Palace. Don't think Palace had too many complaints.
No, they looked a little bit in advance of Palace, didn't they, with their fitness work? I think they've had a couple of games more, and it did tell on the night. They looked a little bit brighter, a little bit sharper, and I think they thoroughly deserved that win. They might have to work a bit harder to get a similar result tonight.
Kasper Schmeichel there in the kind of kit that Liverpool wore in that game, actually. Third choice kit was unveiled in the semi-final, and Leicester got through via a penalty shootout, a different kind of penalty shootout against West Bromwich Albion. Well, it's been building through the game for third and fourth place, which, if you missed it, Palace won by 2-0 over West Bromwich Albion. So this is what they've come to see. This is what's made the competition. Every time it stays, every 2 years, the Premier League invite one of the big boys to come. I mentioned Manchester City earlier. It was Arsenal 2 years ago. They won it in Singapore. Chelsea have done it a couple of times. Liverpool 10 years ago were the main attraction then, but they didn't go home with the trophy, and there are no guarantees tonight despite the support. Adam Lallana, talking to us yesterday, said, hang on a minute, we owe Leicester one. He was particularly referring to February, I think, when, of course, Claudio Ranieri had just been sacked and Craig Shakespeare was given temporary charge of the team, and they rolled Liverpool over.
Yeah. I think because of the atmosphere, because of the occasion, Martin, as well, it does turn it into a game of more significance. It feels like a proper occasion. A lot of pre-season matches, of course, you're just worried about getting through them, and you're just looking after your fitness and trying to make sure you leave the field without any little niggles that might force you to miss any pre-season. But because of the nature of this game, this feels like a proper one, and I'm sure they'll be going full-blooded at it.
Pretty much a proper look to the teams as well. It is Loris Karius's turn in goal for Liverpool, one of 6 changes from Wednesday's win over Crystal Palace. Also in Joe Gomez and James Milner at the back, Gino Wijnaldum and Felipe Coutinho in midfield, and Divock Origi up front. Origi it was who scored the second goal here in midweek. Leicester also ringing the changes with Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Wes Morgan and Christian Fuchs very much regulars into the back four. Mark Albrighton, whose penalty decided the semi-final shootout against West Brom, he starts this time, as does Danny Drinkwater. Drinkwater struck an amazing goal against Liverpool in that win in February when Jamie Vardy scored twice. Craig Shakespeare was in charge, of course. Coutinho did score it. It was a 3-1 defeat for Liverpool in the East Midlands in February. But a lot of talk about Coutinho, with Barcelona sniffing at the Anfield door.
Yeah, that'll be interesting how that develops over the coming days. And only human, after all, as great a club as this is, Liverpool, you've only got to look at this stadium to understand the magnitude of Liverpool. But Barcelona come knocking, Martin, that's going to test the club's resolve and the players' devotion to it.
Jamie Vardy stayed with Leicester, didn't he? The clubs were knocking a year ago. He stayed put. He has a bit of a liking for playing against Liverpool. And one thing you know about Leicester, and it's been true in the hotel again, you can see how much they enjoy each other's company. They are a really tight-knit group. It's often said about football teams that if you don't have it, you're a football team in trouble. But Leicester have it in abundance.
Certainly do. Well, they've enjoyed their work, I think, this week. And seeing them around the hotel, we're right. They're all looking forward to this 90 minutes coming up.
Oh, Nadley is the referee. Leicester get the final underway. And more game time for Matty James, who's trying to get his fitness back after a long time out. He was on loan at Barnsley to get some action last season, but he's desperate to play a part, with Leicester having missed out on the title-winning season. Here's Firmino, starting on the left, Origi in the middle. There's a lot of craft in this Liverpool lineup. Coutinho and Lallana. A lot of thrust already. Mo Salah has shown in a couple of outings, one here and one at Wigan 8 days ago. He can be a great summer signing. First corner, and Leicester have trouble clearing it. Eventually Danny Drinkwater loves to knock it long in the Leicester way, and didn't quite reach Vardy, who was coming around the outside of Mahrez. James,
Skill.
Mahrez, didn't quite get there. Picked up by Lallana. Don't think about getting fitness here. Don't think about the heat or the humidity.
No.
It's a proper game of football.
And with the amount of changes, of course, that both teams can make, as a player in these, you don't want to hold back. You give everything. If you do start to flag a little bit, then
the scope for changes. Yeah. Lovren. James Milner, who looks as though he's going to be lined up for another season at left back.
With a bit more competition now, though.
Yes, with Andy Robertson's just come in, hasn't he? So Kevin Stewart, who was in the original Liverpool squad, to come out here, has gone up to Humberside in that deal. Coutinho. Alexander-Arnold, and now Coutinho looking for Origi, and Wes Morgan. Uncomplicated piece of defending.
And take no chances there in a game like this early on. Just clear your lines.
Lallana on the move, found by the throw from Alexander-Arnold. The young right-back's way again. A bit more complicated for Morgan to defend that time. Here's Salah. Morgan stepping in. Salah again. Coutinho. Kasper Schmeichel probably had more difficulty with the bounce just in front of him than the actual pace and direction of the shot.
Good from these sort of angles. Coutinho as well. On his right side, he can get the ball up and down very quickly. It's just a little bit further out maybe than he'd like. No problem in the end for the goalkeeper.
There's Harry Maguire, who has made his move away from Hull as well to Leicester after an outstanding contribution in a difficult season. Earned the step up for Brighton. Now Lallana. Wijnaldum chasing from Slimani, who's still got to win over one or two, not just supporters, but maybe even in the dressing room. A number of signings last season didn't quite pan out the way Leicester hoped. Recruiting when you're champions should be a bit better than they managed, to be honest.
Rougeau is back in the fold, I think, a little bit more now, Martin, as well.
Salah able to get there first with James. Lovren. Chelsea have won it twice. Bolton Wanderers won it under Sam Allardyce. Portsmouth under Harry Redknapp. Tottenham under Harry Redknapp. Manchester City and Arsenal. Some big names on the Asia Trophy. Not yet out of Liverpool or indeed Leicester City. Off goes Vardy. Terrier-like. Backed up by Mahrez, the two that really took the individual honours in the title-winning season, Mahrez and Vardy. And, Leicester get a corner. Jurgen Klopp, when asked what sort of improvement he was hoping to get, talked of better defending, particularly at set pieces. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, still zoned it across the 6-yard box, but got that one sorted out. There'll be nothing new here, Martin, as well. Liverpool will dominate possession. It's just how they deal with those runs from Vardy. When he came on the other night against West Bromwich Albion, he changed the dynamic of the team purely by that brilliant ability, that knack he's got of spinning and at the right time, and then understanding that the ball's on its way. Interesting how Lovren and Matip deal with that.
Salah was clearly offside. And, Mark Perry from the Premier League panel had the situation under control. He also talked about more concentration, smarter play, better game understanding, more clinical in front of goal.
Yeah.
But he allied to that the belief that this group of players have it in them to improve. They've not reached their peak. And that may be the way forward. Of course, there's the month for signing still to happen, isn't it? And a bit more.
Yeah.
But it won't want to be signings at the cost of Coutinho going, that's for sure. Mahrez. Another Leicester corner. I think we've seen enough. Well, we know, but the fans have seen enough that there are two teams in this game.
Definitely. He was very sharp, Mahrez, in the first game. He played 45 minutes or whatever it was, but he was particularly sharp for Leicester. Scored himself a smart goal.
Leicester looking for a smart corner. It's defended well at the near post by Lallana. Not wide by Amati, but Mahrez would have been offside, I think. Well, Craig Shakespeare, of course, has been there, but not in control for very long, and certainly not in... We keep saying permanent. That's never a word you should use about managers, but not interim.
No.
The proper job as his first pre-season.
Good to see him getting an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think he's earned that.
And of course, that start as an interim to beat Liverpool, had that gone the other way, we might be looking at a very different situation. We might not even have Leicester here. They might not even be in the Premier League. And here's Alexander-Arnold putting them under pressure, rather than having a crack with his left foot, trying to slide it across to someone he thought might be in a better position. Coutinho, plenty in red in the middle. Coutinho, Salah back towards Coutinho again. The spectators salivating at this, but Leicester coping with it. Free kick to them.
There's a confident air about the way Liverpool are going forward. It's how they cope at the back.
Vardy trying to get it across to Slimani. Lallana. Lallana wanted it back. Salah using Roberto Firmino, a little Brazilian interplay there with Coutinho. Firmino somehow got it past Amati, who seemed to be in control of that, and he's got it past him again. Touch from James, a collect from Coutinho. Challenge from James, but no foul, and Leicester play on the break. Probably Madley not the favourite person in the stadium at the moment.
I think the referee got that right. I think he felt that Coutinho might just be looking for that free kick there. It just slightly got away from him. Lovely footwork from Firmino on the far side.
Twice.
Yeah. I mean, when you think they got Mane to come back into this at some point, Martin, as well, I mean, it is they really are a threat, and they're great to watch going forward. The way they move and rotate, it is top class. The quality they have up there.
Slung in towards Slimani by Amati. Paul Brighton, who defied the difficulties of a well-worn penalty spot to knock in the decisive kick in that shootout against West Brom. It wasn't so difficult because 13 of the 14 were scored, so left a bit of a mess on the pitch though. In went James, headed out by Lovren, headed on by Lallana. Marty gets there. Slippery work from Mahrez, and Mahrez goes at Liverpool. Drinkwater, Vardy, Mahrez, guided into where he thought Slimani might be coming in at the far post. Nicely done by Albright. There's no offside here. Christian Fuchs, the cross, Slimani! Lovely goal! And that's what Islam Slimani can bring to the party. Most of his Leicester goals so far have been headers. And that's far post. That's football down the ages. Get to the byline, cross it, far post, big forward heads it in. And Liverpool, the favourites, are behind here in Hong Kong.
Christian Fuchs does great. He gives it to Albright and he keeps going. And then you know with this guy, he has the quality to stand that up. And James Milner knows he's in trouble there because that cross is just hanging above his head. And he'd have been waiting for Slimani to come in behind him and bury that. And that's a fantastic finish. Great goal. Really, really good football. And whilst we've eulogised about Liverpool, this team have a sting of their own, make no mistake. And they get in good areas and get people in the box like that, this guy comes alive. Not everybody's cup of tea, Slimani. Give him service like that, and he'll finish.
So inside 12 minutes, Leicester have struck. Lovren. You mentioned earlier in passing, Andy, Liverpool have had a couple of games before they came out here.
Yep.
And it seemed to give them a little bit of a head start. But we'll see what they're made of in these circumstances as Mahrez leads the charge again.
Oh, brilliant.
Riyad Mahrez. And Lovren did well to get a tackle in, even though it was a foul. Craig Shakespeare said to him, look, they've had one bid for you from Roma, which was a derisory one. You've got to go out and play. If you play well, it'll be to our benefit, and maybe if you have to go to your benefit, but who would want to lose a player like this?
No. It was really bright, as I mentioned earlier in the first game, and again started this one. Terrific, great at that. You know, he's one of those players that he wants you to, invites you to have a little nibble at the ball. He wants you to dive in and make a challenge, and he'll skip past you. He can go on the outside as well as coming inside. He chops back and puts people on their backside. When he's right and when he's up for it, he's a very difficult player to handle.
I've been in all the Asia Trophy games, and this the 8th staging of it now. This is the best 15 minutes I've seen.
Yeah, it's a proper game.
Proper.
It really is.
And actually, it's not quite 15 minutes yet. There may be more to come within that at this free kick. The right foot, Drinkwater. Surely not the left foot, Mahrez, coming from that tight angle, but maybe it is. It's Drinkwater. Liverpool reacted to just the shift of the ball. Right idea, if not quite the right idea as it turned out. Slimani. Problems there for Wijnaldum. Firmino. Kept in by Roberto Firmino. Maguire drawn out of the centre. And it was a bit of a desperate tackle, but he managed to get there and plays out off Firmino.
Well, he's not happy. Maybe feels that Harry Maguire might have took a piece of him as well as he made that challenge, but a big lad, Harry Maguire, but he's quick enough across the ground, you know. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
He might grab his shirt afterwards, but he'd already made the tackle.
He saw enough of the ball to stick that right leg out and got it. Here's Wijnaldum. Milner making Mahrez defend. Headed away powerfully by Morgan. Vardy's flick for Slimani. Albrighton. Liverpool trying to press in Leicester territory and stop the breakout. At least they've made it less smooth than Leicester wanted, but Matip, Karius picked it toward Brighton, whose touch may be affected a bit by surprise, but Karius, who's had one or two mishaps, shall we say, in his Liverpool career.
Well, Matip didn't do him any favours at all. He's a lucky boy, the goalie. He's trying to get distance, he's trying to get that right up the line. If you've got a clear line, just put it out for a throw-in, but Matip takes a little bit too long to decide what he's going to do with it. In the end, he's not really picked his head up. See the goalkeeper there, just put it out for a throw-in. Lucky boy. That's the last thing he needs as well, something silly like that, a sloppy mistake.
Well, they're talking about a three-way fight for the goalkeeping jersey at Liverpool. Mignolet is the man in possession, played in the first game here. But there's Danny Ward, who helped Huddersfield into the Premier League. He's back at Liverpool. He was on loan at Huddersfield. In the euphoria of getting through that playoff, he said he'd like to stay and have a go. He knew he had a chance of playing, but obviously Liverpool are his employers and will have the final say. Brighton just couldn't quite get there. He's one who form had slumped, as Leicester had slumped at the start of last season. When Craig Shakespeare took over from Claudio Ranieri, suddenly he had a new burst of life. Jurgen Klopp. Oh, he's going to talk himself into serious trouble. Bobby Madley is quite entitled not to be lectured by this, to say you can clear away from the technical area.
Who says they're just taking it easy? They're just feeling their way into a new season.
You might put it down to jet lag and lack of sleep, you know. He said yesterday, I was pretty unhappy at the start of the week. I think it's terrific here now. He might just have changed his mind.
This Leicester team, such a dangerous side when they're in this situation, right? They've got a lead. Of course, they can sit and defend in numbers, which they're good at. They're always quite organised. And then with Vardy, Slimani, or Brighton and Mahrez in particular, they really do counter so well. And Liverpool have to be really switched on. Even in this situation now, when they're attacking, they've got to be really tuned in and right at the back.
Salah, quick against Fuchs, who's experienced. He did well to stop the cross. Brighton working hard, and it's gone out off Alexander-Arnold for a Leicester throw. Jurgen Klopp is still in the technical area, so Bobby Madley contented himself by calming, and I guess probably saying, if you do that again, you will have to go and sit somewhere else. Well, he'll soon enough be sitting on a plane back to London, because, well, certainly back into England. They go straight to the airport from this final. Liverpool, they'll be the first team to depart Hong Kong. Coutinho. Salah. Yeah, just brushed an arm. Salah goes on. Coutinho, Salah goes on again! Oh, we've been blessed with two splendid headed goals. That was a completely different kind. Was it handball in the wide area?
Yeah, he miscontrolled it and it just flicked up off his arm. There was one or two half-hearted Leicester appeals. Could easily have been given. You know what, when Mo Salah arrived for £40 million, whatever it was, I think we all had a vision of him scoring a certain type of goal. Not this one.
No.
Not this one. He does well, knocks it inside, he keeps going. Watch him make that run inside Christian Fuchs. Harry Maguire a little bit square and a little bit shut off. Doesn't quite see the run, but you know what, that's good football, it's clever play. Listen, great ball from Coutinho, perfect. Goalkeeper's just stepped a yard out, he's a little bit in no man's land, but he's every right to want to try and threaten Mo Salah in that respect. That's a fabulous ball.
May I extend my comment to the best 20 minutes I've seen in Asia Trophy football.
Lovely stuff, great goal.
Even when he got to it, he still thought probably isn't going to put it away.
Yeah.
But he did.
Wonder there if the goalkeeper, if the goalkeeper had kept coming there and flying out at him, someone like Salah, he might have been inclined to pull out of that one, whatever. It's just what they needed to get right back into this and to keep everybody in the ground and in the stadium bubbling. You're absolutely right, Martin. They've had the perfect start to a game.
Well, I think everyone needing a bit of refueling after the sweat that's been shown in the first 20 minutes. Terrific tempo. Jurgen Klopp will be a bit happier now.
He certainly will. That incident again, Martin, when the ball was switched out wide watch, he goes to control it, misses it, and it just pops up there on his hand.
Now, we're moving into the world of VAR, aren't we?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, people will say, well, look, he didn't intend to hand the ball, you've got to intend, but it's also poor control. It hits his hand. As a player, sometimes it's the sort of thing you appeal for.
So what you're saying is, even when we watch the replay again, it'll be somebody's opinion, as it was, rather than a matter of fact. VAR will happen, it just needs I think there's some fine-tuning, isn't it?
The answer to that will be that he didn't intend to handball it. Yeah, it popped up, hit his hand, miscontrolled it.
Anyway, it's 1-1.
It is, it certainly is.
Slimani's far post header of a traditional kind, you might say, cancelled out by a steered header from a ball straight through the middle, guided in by the brow of Mohamed Salah, who scored at Wigan on the Friday of last week to mark his start for Liverpool. And these are unofficial goals, of course, for the record books for the statisticians amongst you, but what they are vital for is the confidence of the new player, and so they have a genuine significance in that respect. Was always with Leicester, even at their best, they perhaps weren't the strongest defensively. They've not got Robert Huth here, of course, who's recovering from an ankle operation.
I think the year they won the league, certainly the back four of Huth, Morgan and Simpson and Fuchs played very well with the goalkeeper. You know, they did defend very, very well at times, but it was always a back four that you felt might start to creak a little bit and there might need to be an adjustment or two. Brought Harry Maguire in, which I think was a good piece of business.
In trouble again. Lallana to Salah. Forward by Albrighton, well read by Matip. Vardy was edging in behind, as he loves to do. Now it's Mahrez. Out comes Karius. He's done that much better than his previous piece of footwork.
Certainly did. On the edge of his area there as that ball was played through, but you're right, Martin. Moments before that, Mark Albrighton rolls one into Jamie Vardy. And of course Vardy had just spun in behind Matip. For once, all Brighton just missed out on an opportunity of just clipping it over the big Liverpool defender and letting Vardy turn and run. That's what Jurgen Klopp and everybody were getting together for moments ago. I don't think there's no problem from the Liverpool manager when his team are in possession going forward. It's what potentially they're leaving behind should the transition occur.
Good attacking movement from Christian Fuchs again, who made the goal, of course. Very highly thought of Trent Alexander-Arnold amongst a good crop of youngsters at Liverpool. He's got maturity beyond his tender years. Lallana, triangle, not quite room for. Nice turn by Firmino. Off goes Milner, found by Coutinho. The Reds revving it up again. Coutinho. Firmino. He's trying to dig it out and bend it, we might say, Coutinho style.
Yeah. They don't need much room, these guys. You know, just give him half a yard there. Marty just backing off a little bit. And actually there, Firmino might have been better off going towards far post. You get too tight to them and they'll skip past you, offer them too much room. And they can knock it in the top corner.
Slimani makes the run this time. Vardy had peeled off inside if he could have maybe backheaded it. Wijnaldum. Milner. Still talk about Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool reproached officially for an illegal approach.
I think he'd be perfect for him. Absolutely perfect for him.
Salah finding Origi a bit of juggling to try and set up runners from supporting positions. Yes, the latest is that Virgil van Dijk is not training with Southampton's first team. He's training alone. Southampton may dig their heels in.
Yeah.
Other clubs may come in for him, but he seemed to, from what we glean, he seemed to have his heart set on Liverpool. It's quite a well-worn path from Southampton to Anfield.
It is.
One club too many, I think. Origi rather bundled in the second goal against Crystal Palace after a sweet strike from Dominic Solanke, another of the newcomers in unusual circumstances, having turned his back on Chelsea. Fee to be decided by a tribunal.
A good goal he scored as well. Was a good finish, wasn't it?
We have had some really good goals. A great free kick from Milivojevic for Palace today. It's if the players know what the crowd really like here. It's not showboating, it's just they're being drawn into this kind of football by the appreciation they're getting for it.
That similar run from Salah again there. You see a lot of wide players when they drift infield and start running in at people. They don't always convince that anything's going to become of it, but Salah there, twice he's done that. He's got the ball back, almost got the ball back.
He certainly has a point to prove to English football in general, doesn't he? Because he didn't really get... He would say maybe not a fair crack at Chelsea, but when he did, you have to make the most of those opportunities, and he didn't.
It looked like it was too big for him, didn't it, at the time, Chelsea? It did. It looked like he was a bit lost there. But he went away and picked himself up and has shown that he's got quality, and we've seen glimpses of it here.
Maguire, almost caught by Origi. Drinkwater, Liverpool pressing, but it's a little clip. He's a big man to trip up Harry Maguire.
He's actually a far taller lad than I actually thought. Seeing him around the hotel, he is a big lad, Harry Maguire.
Can they pass the ball, and they've got to Christian Fuchs in again. This time back to Albrighton. Loses Lallana. Decides to have a smack himself. We don't see Mark Albrighton do that often.
No.
But they opened up for him.
Good skill. Great ball down the line initially, and Christian Fuchs wanted to let that settle there, so he decides to chop it back, and good skill from Mark Albrighton. Stepping inside, and at that point he's only got one thing on his mind. Hits it well enough.
Flag has gone up for offside, and Jamie Vardy's effort was never going to count.
Yep, he's clearly offside. I think the goalkeeper there, you can see him just trying to gee everybody up, sharpen up a little bit. Be aware. That's the one word I think you have to be with Vardy around you. You've got to be aware that he's always on the move and that he won't let up. However many times he gets disappointed, he'll keep going. Eventually something might go for him. He's become an accomplished finisher over the last few years.
He's doing a bit of harassing there on Milner, cut out by Drinkwater. Mahrez and Milner in quickly. Jordan Henderson not in the starting lineup today. Milner, as you can see, is the captain. Henderson played well and they went over Crystal Palace. Both these clubs actually changed all their outfield players as quick as possible around the half-time interval. There are certain regulations as to how you can do it, but effectively early in the second half in both their games they ended up with a completely different set of 10. Whether they'll do that in the final, we'll find out. I don't think anyone will want to go off though. Salah, Lallana.
General talk today, Martin, was that some will get an hour. They want everyone to at least have 30 minutes, so we'll see. When it's tight like this and very competitive, the managers know the players are getting plenty out of it.
Salah, Lallana, have a crack himself. Wijnaldum, Liverpool rather ring-fencing the Leicester penalty area. Here's Firmino. Has a go. Doesn't have a goal to celebrate. There's a little part of his game that gets him into trouble. His extravagant goal celebrations have produced a number of yellow cards over the last 3 or 4 years in European club football. It always seems joy that should be allowed, but they've got a corner. Maybe he'll have something to celebrate here. Bobby Madley blew before the kick was taken, so we have the odd spell, Andy, don't we, where certain officials decide shirt grabbing is going to be penalised with a penalty kick. Others don't go down that road. I don't know what the guidance is. Bobby Madley at least laying it down before it becomes ball comes into play. If you see something here, watch out. They've got 2 against 1 at the short corner. Very poor ball by Coutinho standards. And then a bit over-rugged by Maguire on Lovren, who can handle himself in those circumstances.
Did well there, Lovren, actually. Resisted that challenge from Harry Maguire, got his body in, protected the ball, and in the end, quite rightly, gets a free kick.
even when Leicester won the league, they were vulnerable at set pieces. Probably the only weakness that consistently showed through an absolutely storybook season. The threat of Coutinho to Leicester. Schmeichel comes, deals with it. Oh, Wijnaldum! There were a lot of bodies to get the shot through. He seemed to connect, whether it's seen as a foul on the goalkeeper.
Teasing free kick. It actually looked a little bit too close to Schmeichel initially. But again, in traffic like that, sometimes the goalkeeper is not the biggest. You find that difficult in that sort of situation. That's an awkward one for him. It's one that he felt he had to come and get, and then it drops at the last minute. It always looks like he's struggling to get there.
Matip. Liverpool with the more sustained approach. Leicester always looking dangerous on the break.
Always.
That's Mahrez. Out by Lovren. Brought out by Milner. Origi's gone to the left with Firmino through the middle at the moment for Liverpool. We had an incident in the first game when Johnny Evans had to go off with an ankle problem, and fortunately West Brom seemed to think it was just a precautionary early substitution. But everything at this stage is potentially a ruin for all the hard work that they put in over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Just tweaked his knee, rattled his knee there a bit, Marty.
Can be very painful on the kneecap.
Yeah.
A lot of nerves behind the patella. And it may just be, I hope for him, if it's just a bang.
Yeah, if it's a bang, it's not so bad, but it's when your studs are firmly in the ground and then your opponent leans on you or pushes you, and all of a sudden that's how you can have problems.
Michael Appleton just behind Craig Shakespeare there. There's the new assistant manager, along with Mike Stowell, been there for a while as goalkeeping coach as well. Danny Simpson would be, obviously, is the first choice right back. He's being told to sort himself out, but maybe Amati can sort himself out and carry on.
Might be all right. It's just there's a genuine reluctance to let anybody soldier on in these sort of matches at this stage of the season. They'd rather take no chances, and as they did with Johnny Evans in the game earlier. We'll see.
Except if you're Wilfried Zaha, who chose to soldier on in both games and has been an outstanding contributor to this Asia trophy.
He looked sharp, didn't he?
Sharp and hungry.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got a new manager, can't take anything for granted if you've had a good season last time around. And Palace, of course, have in Frank de Boer. Wijnaldum. Salah. Exploring again. He'll get there. And, Maguire had to be careful. I'm not sure it was in Salah's mind to try and maybe whip it in, but Fuchs has retrieved it for Leicester here. Liverpool haven't given up on it yet.
Great flick again from Lallana. This time Salah getting to the byline. He just needed another option. I think he was waiting and waiting, looking for something a little bit more obvious. But again, when he gives it, he really puts the foot to the floor and shows great acceleration. Probably the challenge coming in just enough to put him off, but lovely awareness and skill from that man again.
So some 6 minutes to go to half-time. Vardy tries to get away, and he got the touch. Or did he?
Well, it's just whether Lovren caught him, actually. Certainly the Liverpool defender got first contact on the ball, but it's whether the follow-through then just impeded Vardy, but no genuine complaints.
And Bobby Madley has coped with everything. It's pre-season for him as well, of course. Premier League referee of improving, standing all the time, highly thought of. He and Paul Tierney have been out here representing the Premier League. Andy.
Yeah, again, he doesn't give anything up. Slimani is with the challenge, and then he spins there. I think Lovren sort of shanks it. It's whether or not there's any deliberate attempt to just clip Vardy as well, just to deny him. So you think he realises, Lovren, that no, there's nothing deliberate in there, Martin, at all. No, that's just contact between centre half and striker.
Well, James Milner's come off and Alberto Moreno has come on. I think with half-time so close, it must be a problem to have done it.
Unless it's another way of Jurgen Klopp staggering those changes.
No, I think he's rubbing his thigh.
Oh, right. So. Yeah, he is there.
Sorry, Andy, I had the advantage of the pictures. Amati with the throw. Mahrez trying to burst upon the scene again. Here's Firmino, Origi down the line. Out by Amati, who seems in full working order once more. Well, one wonders what the future holds for him when you're talking about Andy Robertson coming into Scotland international. You
would have thought elsewhere. I think he's had a go, Alberto Moreno, at trying to establish himself at Liverpool, and he's never really quite got there and convinced, has he? He's had his moments when he's played well, but defensively not good enough, really.
Coutinho helping him out. Well, the two artists come together, and as well as the artist brush, he's got a bit of a hammer with him, Mahrez, as well. And it's going to be a yellow card for the Algerian.
Got to do it. Yeah. It's got to do it. Good work from Coutinho, actually, just getting back and then clever little shimmy and a good bit of skill, and Mahrez doesn't really fancy that.
There is Alberto Moreno. Handed away, torpedo style by Morgan. Back come Liverpool again. A couple of minutes left in the first half. Expansive pass to Salah by Coutinho in early to Firmino. Was an awkward height, but he did well with it. Coutinho! Oh. Well, there are people in this stadium who will remember that moment for the rest of their lives. An awesome Liverpool goal. The little magician, it's not a new trick, but it always seems to work.
Just a fabulous goal. You know, whenever he's just appeared in and around the tunnel and popped his head out onto the pitch, the roar that's gone up has been massive. And there's no surprise that everybody in the ground were on their feet. Perfect run on the outside to just buy him that little bit of room to step inside. What about that? What's about that for a finish? Hey, Barca might have to give a bit more now.
Yes, it's a goal that gives Liverpool the lead, but might give them more problems. But again, in keeping with this splendid first half of the final of the Asia Trophy 2017. Three picture book goals.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Coutinho finding space again. And Salah. There's no flag for Schmeichel. Mark Perry was called into judgment there. It was a tight call. He was on the move, but not quite as quickly as Salah was.
We'll see it better from this angle. Christian Fuchs, now he's got a spot of bother behind him. I think he would have been onside. It was just a little bit big. Good work from Kasper Schmeichel, that.
Or Brighton. No pressure on Karius there. 1 added minute. Don't want it to end.
No, it's been terrific.
What a great kick by Karius. Reached the halfway line. Drinkwater got there. Vardy. Fortunate for Karius.
Yeah.
Lovren got in the way because Vardy dips them, and it would have come from a conventionally, but a poor kick, really, just straight up in the air.
He certainly caught it sweet, didn't he? Yeah. Flushed that one all right.
Drinkwater, Slimani. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the first half as much as we have. You will if you're a Liverpool, a Coutinho fan, because he came up with the third and the best of the three, really the most spectacular, to put Liverpool in front after the second of 2 very good headers earlier. Mo Salah had levelled for Liverpool, and Islam Slimani rounded off a multi-pass Leicester move to head them into the lead, to show that they're here to mean business and not just make up the numbers. There will be changes, but really can't wait for the second half. We reach it at Liverpool 2, Leicester 1.
And here come Leicester City behind us as well. What have they got to do, Alan, in the second half?
Play with the kind of intensity they did in that first 10-15 minutes and give the ball to Riyad Mahrez as often as they can, because he's the man, isn't he? He looks fired up for it and a threat every time he got the ball.
Are we likely to see more changes, though, do you think, the way they worked it in the night? Yes, they are. There's your answer. Expecting a row from both sides. We saw Liverpool, well, probably 9 or 10 warming up at half-time. So let's find out about those changes with Andy Townsend and Martin Tyler.
Welcome back to the Hong Kong Stadium. A terrific first half, which has seen Liverpool lead Leicester by 2-1, and some substitutions, as you would expect, at the start of the second half. Marco Grujic and Ragnar Klavan on. Joel Matip has gone off. So has Adam Lallana. Jordan Henderson wants another 45 minutes under his belt. And Daniel Sturridge. But we've got some Leicester changes as well. Danny Simpson, Andy King. Big appreciation of Henderson and Sturridge from this partisan Hong Kong crowd. It's very much behind Liverpool's attempts to lift this Asia trophy. Second half underway. There will be a bit of a feeling out period, you sense, but there's no other reason, Andy Townsend, for the tempo to drop and the sense of competition to decrease.
Not at all, Martin, no, because the players that have come on, top players, they'll all want to have an impact in the second 45 minutes, so I don't see any reason why it should drop the tempo and change the way that the game has been played up to now. It's been first class, really good. As good a pre-season friendly at this stage of pre-season, I think, as I've seen for some time.
No change in either goal. Simon Mignolet got the full 90 minutes on Wednesday in the semi-final, and Ben Hamer likewise for Leicester. So Karius and Schmeichel have their turn tonight. Klavan, Coutinho finding space in behind Drinkwater, offside against Alberto Moreno. Liverpool thought, I think, for a moment that they were in.
A little bit too much room, that is, for Coutinho. That's tight as well. Very tight call. Interesting whether or not linesman on the far side was flagging for Daniel Sturridge or Moreno, but chance that.
And Danny Simpson not quite switched on, having come on for Daniel Amate.
I think if Coutinho gets the ball in that sort of area, you just got to drop. You just got to drop away. If he gets it on the half turn and he's running at you, or he can pick his head up, it's very difficult to stand the line.
Vardy's offside. But just a reminder, if Liverpool needed one, which I'm sure they don't, that, watch out, Vardy's about.
Yeah, there's clearly a yard offside there, but always threatening Jamie Vardy.
It's the substitutions. Well, that's allowed Coutinho to play the ball. There's a mistake here, and as that happened, it wasn't its chest outside the area. Karius read it, and there were no Leicester appeals, to be fair. That could easily have been 2-2, and Jamie Vardy reflects on it should have been 2-2. But here's
sloppy ball back.
Out by Maguire. A foul by Vardy into the back of Lovren, but Liverpool kept the ball. Bobby Madley indicating that he saw what happened. Coutinho. Salah. Into Grujic. Henderson. And neatly done by Simpson, has got his bearings now. Moreno. Grujic. He wasn't the most popular player with Crystal Palace after the first game. Injured Wilfried Zaha, but not badly enough to stop him playing, and playing well again today. Well, it was the right kind of Marco Grujic. That's why Liverpool signed him. He's a midfield player who's got an eye for goal.
Yeah. Technically, this sort of stuff not a problem to him. Sort of picking up that position on the edge of the box. And once that pitch is in front of him, he fancies that immediately, doesn't he? Very nearly. Makes Kasper Schmeichel sweat a bit on that one. Just couldn't quite get over the top of it completely to keep it down on target. Good effort.
In a game of special goals, indeed a tournament of special goals, that would have been right up there with the best. Moreno forcing it forward. See Coutinho one side and Salah the other, with Sturridge the most central of the strikers. Henderson, Wijnaldum and Grujic, the midfield three now. Klavan grabbing hold of Vardy, but Leicester keep the ball. James. Vardy. It's onside. It's another chance for Jamie Vardy. And that's not quite going his way. Klavan dived in. Could have had disastrous consequences, but in the end did the job for Liverpool.
Great run again. Klavan deciding to step. Lovren unaware of where Vardy is, and Klavan does well actually to recover here, Martin. Just wonder, Vardy could have hit this, could have done there. He could have took that shot. He just gave Klavan a chance to come back and do enough to deny him. Usually there in that sort of situation, Vardy just hits them.
Here's Coutinho. Spraying it out to Sturridge. Clever ball in. Alexander-Arnold put it back into a dangerous area, only half cleared by Maguire. Helped out by King. Drinkwater. Morgan letting it run back to Kasper Schmeichel. Vardy still lurking for the ball played into space over Liverpool's back line, which is pretty high. There it comes, but it's not over the back line, but Vardy makes something of it to feet. Lovely touch by James. Vardy looking for support maybe. He's got it from Mahrez of all people. He can't cut through Liverpool. But edge of the seat time again.
Yeah.
Drinkwater. Morgan.
I think what's made it so enjoyable, Martin, is that often in pre-season friendlies there's a desire to keep things tight at the back and to get into that mode of not conceding sloppy goals and giving things away. And that can detract sometimes from teams' efforts going forward, whereas you can, you know, the message has been loud and clear this evening from both sets of players, both managers, I'm sure. Get forward, get out there and make something happen.
Trying to make something happen here is Alberto Moreno, in for Coutinho. The others shaping for the cross. He tried to bluff Leicester there and just roll the Brazilian in.
Lucky. Right idea. Good little dart that.
Charged down by Wijnaldum. Coutinho. And out comes the powerful frame of Harry Maguire. Liverpool have two more ready to come on. Joe Gomez and Ben Woodburn.
He played very well, Joe Gomez, in the first game. Played excellent.
Yeah, I'll be wondering at the moment whether Liverpool are going to keep him for the season or let him go out on loan. He just wants to play. He's had, of course, a long time off through injury as well. At a time when he was doing so well as a young Liverpool player. Signed from Charlton, he's a Londoner. One thing for the players these days, and is for recovery, they do have such expert medical attention, and players who might have been finished by injuries in the past are now able to just pick it up and get going again when they get the green light. Klavan. Wijnaldum. Lovely ball to Salah, trying to work a little give and go with Jordan Henderson. And ball by Alexander-Arnold, who then kicked the ball away. Two offences which have added up to at least a yellow card in the heat of the real battle. It may be that Alexander-Arnold is feeling the strain a bit. He's coming off now. Joe Gomez, who can play anywhere across the back line, may well go to right back. And another young man of many different talents, not quite the same as Gomez is, Ben Woodburn, who by inclination is a centre forward but might not quite have the build for it in the Premier League. I don't know, he's still got plenty of growing time at 17, but he's played wide. He scored a goal in the League Cup quarter-final against Leeds for the first team, and now more in this pre-season be given a midfield role, Andy, which he seems quite suited to.
Yeah. To come on and replace Coutinho there, goes off to some worthy applause.
And the fourth official, Hong Kong's Gigi Law, who impressed in the job here on Wednesday, has been asked back for the final. There she is. She organises the entrance of Ndidi and Ibora. I thought it was a foul by Sturridge. He used his body to hold off the defender before he was in charge of the ball. Bora, the signing from Sevilla with a lot of experience, and also what Leicester values, some leadership qualities as well. Always going to be difficult to, when you have a team that win the title, you'd love to keep them, and keep them, of course. N'Golo Kante going to Chelsea, made that impossible straight away, and replacing him was so difficult. It was one of the reasons why Leicester were in such trouble when they faced Liverpool in February and got that win that set up the second half of their season, and the last third of the season. Henderson. To Salah, Gomez was trying to help him. And Fuchs dispossess him. King. Now Maguire. I understand Craig Shakespeare wanting Morgan and Maguire to have time together.
Definitely.
With Robert Huth out for the first few weeks of the season. Henderson.
One thing I would say about all the changes and the disruption that it can have to the game, at least they've all sort of happened pretty much at once. And now these boys that are out on the pitch at the moment have a chance now to get a bit of rhythm and finish the game as they started it.
Grujic. Next port of call for Liverpool is Germany, where they've got a training base, as Jurgen Klopp know all the facilities available there, and they're in another tournament. Sturridge, Austin Didi, found Salah. Maguire getting a pat on the back for Kasper Schmeichel. The goalkeeper wouldn't have got there.
No, he did the right thing there, Harry Maguire. You have to take control in that scenario. Great work from Daniel Sturridge, lovely feet and clever little pass. Maybe Salah might have been better just putting his head on that and seeing if he could have just looped that over the goalkeeper.
Liverpool's corner, got past the near post screen. Mahrez can't take it out, and Henderson plays safe and sensible. Moreno. Woodburn. Wijnaldum. Chased by Ndidi. Good contest this, which Ndidi wins. King. Lovren. One of those, when defenders really commit themselves, they have to make sure they get the ball, otherwise they're in trouble. Lovren did. Vardy has certainly threatened Liverpool's lead in the second half, but they still have it. They come back from a goal down to Islam Slimani's header, with a header from Mo Salah, and a masterful goal from Felipe Coutinho.
You can see why Leicester are always in a game, Martin, with Vardy. I think he's one of those players, you know, his runs a lot of the time they can be quite predictable. You know where he's going to go and when he's going to do it, but you try and stop it. If the delivery's right, because he's so quick and he can give a centre-half a yard or two and still run across them, darting behind them. And he's such a willing lad. He never gets disappointed by a poor ball that comes through. He's the first to salute it when he realises the teammate hasn't quite executed it properly, but it was the right idea. So they're always in a game with him.
Good pass from Henderson again. Shoot on sight. Daniel Sturridge, who's capable of bulging the net from all sorts of extraordinary angles.
Takes some doing to beat Schmeichel from there, particularly where he's not really been able to get the ball out of his feet. He really run onto it and hit that, just sort of dug it out.
It's a good run from Tom Lawrence, but who's another player who buys into this "if I get the ball, I'll get at you" philosophy. Already played for Wales.
So see Liverpool, the way they're marking from this corner, an out-swinging corner, and yet they're still zoning right on the 6-yard line. There's a stack of Leicester players on the penalty spot.
They haven't got it the first time, Liverpool. And it nearly ran through for Iborra, who will add to the height and the danger that Leicester pose from set pieces. It's whether he can get into the team, I think, isn't it? Because there's a lot of competition with, and Ndidi did well when he came in. And obviously Danny Drinkwater has been a first choice when fit. Here's Alberto Moreno, who was named by Jurgen Klopp in the 18 for every Premier League game, but only started 2 of them last season. Oh, could have just deflected.
Yeah.
That's why strikers run in there, because some days it does just fall for you.
Sturridge ends up sort of just towing the ball forward and very nearly drops on a plate for Daniel Sturridge. And we were talking about Van Dijk earlier. Martin, I said, I feel he would be the right fit for them. Possibly another centre forward for Liverpool, but Daniel Sturridge, it's that $1 million question with him. When he's fit and he's well and he's about his work, he's as good a finisher as anywhere in the league.
Mahrez, well read by the experienced Estonian Klavan, and rather running into trouble, reclaimed by Ndidi, who's got a huge amount of energy. King. Karius gets it, puts the brakes on in time. Again, Vardy appreciative of the thoughts, really. Gomez clip it into where Daniel Sturridge is a bit different to a conventional centre forward, isn't it? That kind of ball into sort of holding up position. He's always looking on the half turn to get facing the goal. We have further substitutions. Dominic Solanke, who scored at the end that Liverpool are attacking in this second half, against Crystal Palace. The half in which Ryan Kent also came on, and he's coming on. Wijnaldum and Salah off, and it's the end of the trail for the Aisha Trophy anyway for Riyad Mahrez. Ahmed Musa, whose own future probably somewhat in doubt at Leicester. He wasn't a one-season hit, that's for sure.
No, never really reproduced what he was capable of in Russia, playing from that wider area. I think that's where he likes to play, but sometimes seen giving some of his better performances down the middle.
Leo Ulloa, who was a good backup man in the title-winning season, and then it might just run for Vicente Iborra here. Liverpool hustling and bustling and finding the eagerness of. Seen a lot of that from the younger players here. Sensed a chance,
yeah,
in front of a big audience, worldwide television coverage and full house here in the stadium itself, to catch the eye. I mean, other clubs have those moments, but at the moment with Liverpool and Karius in particular, you sort of feel that's maybe one or two too many. Here's Solanke. Got Grujic with him. Solanke coming it across. Maguire gets a good strong foot to it. Gomez. Leicester's one remaining game against foreign opposition. They play Borussia Mönchengladbach at home on August the 4th. But they've got Luton, MK Dons, Wolves and Burton. Now that's what pre-season used to be about.
That's very much so, yeah.
And I'm sure all those games are away, spread over a pretty short period. It'll be more intensive work. I'm sure they'll be playing to full houses. They should be. What they've achieved in the last couple of years, not just winning the league but being the furthest team to get the furthest in the Champions League last season from England. It's Leicester we're talking about.
Yeah.
You still have to pinch yourself.
You do. Interested in that pre-season, Martin.
Yeah.
Some like to go on and play really exotic ties against some of the top teams in the world. Others like to keep it more local, more domestic.
Good position from Moreno to cross. Get it past Morgan guarding the near post. I think, to be fair, most of the teams that travel around the world would see advantages in staying locally, but they also recognise the commercial aspects of it. And I think that's been a change in the last 10 or 15 years. Managers like Arsene Wenger, who wouldn't go, has realised that, you know, even Australia's not too far, you know. Apart from the financial aspects, we should also bringing the joy of our kind of football, if you like, to far-flung places, and I think that can only happen more in the future. Just need to get a plane as fast as Concorde used to be, and it could be even more regular, but whether that'll ever happen, only the aeronautical men listening and men and women will know that.
Certainly the fans coming in here today couldn't have asked for anything more than what we saw in that first 45. We've had some changes now a little drinks break, but the quality of the football in the first half, the tempo of it was wonderful. Up and running with clever little ball from Christian Fuchs and Slimani. Too powerful for James Milner at the back post. Leicester get themselves in front. They're a dangerous team when they're in front, as I said, when they sit and defend, but little Mo Salah, little give and go there with Coutinho, brave enough to put his head on that when other little wingers might not have fancied it. He stuck his head on it and got his team back in it. And then this. Wow, I mean, that was just special. Very, very good.
You were talking about Vardy's runs, knowing it and not being able to stop it. Coutinho's little dink onto his right foot, that check and the shot. You know it's going to happen.
Correct.
But he adds another one to his collection. He's had a good tournament, and Liverpool are heading towards winning that tournament, but there's still 20 minutes to go. Just to remind you, if you haven't been to this part of the world, it is a very humid heat, and it does sap even players when they're at the full heights of their within-season powers. And here we have some very fit Premier League players, but not quite as fit as they will be in a month's time. And maybe not even then. The great Liverpool teams of Bob Paisley. Bob used to believe you worked your way through the matches and you were fit for the run-in. Christmas time you were at your peak, and then you blasted the opposition away over the second half of the season. Problem for Grujic.
Yeah, he went flying in there, I think, with Ndidi. Ball's up in the air. Look, both players certainly got their eyes on it. And even though Grujic takes one just on the chin there, it's not full flush on the jaw. No help to him right now, but he'd be okay, I'm sure.
Stretcher bearers are ready. but let's hope they won't be required.
Assuming everybody in their squad is out there. They've either started or they're out there now, Martin, I think.
John Flanagan.
John Flanagan, good shout.
Yeah. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got one more. Right. I've got one more, yeah. Not too much concern Jurgen Klopp. There's a little bit of blood spilt. It's just a bit of ice on the point of impact. It wasn't a swing of an elbow or anything like that. It was a leverage arm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Get up. Still 2-1 to Liverpool. Still fate of the Asia Trophy hangs in the balance against the renowned competitors that Leicester City are. Grujic is back on. Lovren. No lasting damage. Be hoping to contribute a bit more in his second season. He wasn't free of injuries in his first, which held him back. Tidely done by Woodburn. Moreno. Woodburn again. He's got such a confidence on the pitch. He's a very shy boy off it. It's amazing what having a football can do to you. You've grown up with one.
Good run that from Moreno. Lovren spotted it early enough. He just slid away from it a little bit. Just prevented him from getting on the end of it. Schmeichel just stepping out and grabbing it.
Maguire. And Musa anticipating that might come off Gomez. It did. Obstruction. Henderson not happy. Lovren, who was the culprit, not happy. Musa making an impact.
And Lovren felt he was always going that way. It's just whether he stepped across Musa a little bit, looked using his arm, yeah, just a little bit too heavy-handed. I think he had anticipated and read where Musa was going with it, but just that arm was enough to persuade Bobby Madley to give a free kick.
And Wes Morgan is off. To be replaced by Johan Benelouan, who had a run in the team in the second half of last season, when Morgan was injured, actually, having not been in the actual Premier League roster for the first half of the season because he wasn't fit. Well, he's got a chance maybe to get his head on this free kick, which Tom Lawrence is going to take. Test of Liverpool's aerial resistance again. Not a very big test, cleared by Solanke. Lawrence trying to give and go. Henderson steps in, and Solanke again. Henderson starting to pull some strings. Sturridge. More than decent ball. Solanke took two to stop him. He's impressively quick, Joe Gomez.
Near quick across the ground. Yeah. Actually watching the first game the other night from just behind the goal, and exceptionally fast. He really was.
Moreno. Leicester rather sitting in at the moment. Fighting Klavan forward. Solanke. Touched off by Ulloa, but Lawrence was surrounded by players in red.
Yeah, and that's the one there. You see, where they're getting a little bit of trouble. With Vardy, you can always do that. You can just release it and clip it in behind people and know that he'll chase after it. It's got to be a very different service for Ulloa.
The crowd are reacting because Daniel Sturridge, I must say I was looking the other way, so I don't know how he ended up on the floor, but there was no Leicester player within hacking distance, should we say. Klavan. Liverpool looking for a goal, an insurance goal if you like. It's a very traditional deep red, this, isn't it, of Liverpool. Could be worn by any of the great teams down the ages.
Does it look like that? It reminds you of some of those kits, doesn't it?
Yeah. A V-neck. I think retro is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably Manley with a bit of sorting out to do, but he's ready now for the restart. Powerfully away by Iborra. Gomez. Solanke, his movement's been good since he's come on. His passing not quite so good, but been able to get into the game, which isn't always easy as a substitute striker. Iborra. Gomez there in front of Musa. Here's Ryan Kent, the nippy winger. Lovren. That was not what he was trying to do, but picked off by Henderson, who anticipated a chance to get it back for his team.
And that's that Liverpool trait, that Klopp trait, where he wants his team to switch on very quickly when they concede possession. Henderson doing exactly that, just as you saw there.
Klavan. Woodburn to make the play from here. Moreno got away with a heavy first touch and made sure that Liverpool kept the ball. Jurgen Klopp was very worried about the pitch when he first came here. With all the rain about, concerns were understandable. But, we're deep into the fourth game in less than 4 days, so the ground staff deserve a pat on the back.
They certainly do. Conditions at the start of the week were, well, we were beginning to wonder what sort of state this pitch could possibly be in, whether it could play at all. So 4 marks to them. It's not been perfect, but it's certainly not spoiled it as a spectacle, the competition at all.
No, on Tuesday it was the Premier League water polo Asia Trophy. Sturridge. To round it off for Liverpool here. Out by Benalouan. Gomez climbed well. Benalouan's there again. Gomez is there again. Now Henderson. There's a fair bit of fatigue out there, even though a lot of these players have come on since half-time. And one more still to come for Liverpool. It is the aforementioned John Flanagan. A real Liverpudlian. And as you might expect, the comedian in the dressing room. Master of the one-liners. Friend of Jamie Carragher. Say no more. Lovren. Oh, brilliant from Kent. And the cross makes Danny Simpson tuck it behind. A lot of the Liverpool players looking at Ryan Kent and applauding.
It's a quick little step over as well, wasn't it? Really sharp the way set up Christian Fuchs and skip past him.
Christian Fuchs, who has been on since the start, we should hasten to add.
Look at that. Yeah. Decent ball in as well. Actually, Daniel Sturridge, I think, actually the first to salute it there. He just held out.
Flanagan for Lovren. There's a regular theme we've had over these four teams, really. Players who've missed a lot of football and have fought their way back at a relatively young age. John Flanagan got himself an England cap for his knee injury, 2014, and then has struggled to be part of Liverpool. He was on loan at Burnley last season, and Sean Dyche, who've been very grateful to get him, found that he couldn't use him because of the success of other players. So it's a start again, and I guess some of these players we're seeing, we know there are more transfers to come, Andy. Yeah. Some of these players will start the season at other clubs.
They probably will, yeah. Have to accept that.
But the thrill of playing for Liverpool and a trophy, some 6 minutes away, unless a goal here would take the unless out of the equation, I think. Simpson. Out by Lawrence. Moreno into Woodburn's feet, just behind his feet actually. Henderson. Partially away by Harry Maguire. Kent, who's in the mood, but stopped by Musa. Klavan. Not quite. Well, he might not play in the Premier League for Liverpool this season, but there'll be people looking at this, scouts looking at it and saying...
Oh, I think there'd be plenty of clubs, Martin, that would love to take some of the young Liverpool players for a year.
And they need to be in someone's first team, don't they? It's formative time. If you're 20 years old and you've not played first team football very much. It's in by Lawrence.
It's the right ball. It's exactly the right delivery. Just Ulloa not quick enough really to get on the end of it. It's perhaps always just a little bit big for him, but it's a really good delivery.
Famous name from Liverpool's past, Tommy Lawrence, who was a goalkeeper.
If he'd have come flying out for that one, you get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, Jurgen Klopp pointing out, I think, with a certain amount of style, that the fans here come to watch Liverpool because of the history. He said, it's not us, this group, but we hope we can justify and become part of that history. Kent had just died on Schmeichel a bit, so he went for the push away, and it was a good one. Henderson. I thought that showed a lot of humility from Jurgen Klopp to say that.
And he's right, Martin, as well. And I think it's a little reminder to the players. Be thankful of the club that you're playing for and the club you're representing and all that it stands for. And enjoy it and relish the challenge when you pull on a red shirt and try and get a trophy or two of your own and get your own name up there.
His first trip in any capacity to the Far East, Jurgen Klopp. Sturridge. Something late for the crowd, but in losing the ball, Liverpool, they might be a bit exposed here. But Klavan cuts off Lawrence's attempt to find the angle run from Musa. That could be the last real chance for Leicester.
That was a chance. He actually played it too soon there, Lawrence. I think he needs to keep travelling, and the Liverpool defenders did the right thing, backing off. I think at some point Lawrence has got to try and entice one of those Liverpool defenders to get out, front him up, then maybe make the pass. But I'd have kept going there if I was him.
I mentioned on that list of things that Jurgen Klopp wanted to improve, managing game situations, where they got one to manage here just to get across the line, haven't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Henderson, Moreno, a lot of exhausted Leicester players out there. Make them chase it to try and get it. And each passing second takes Liverpool closer to being champions out here. Henderson.
Good skill.
One way to keep the ball. And here's Moreno. Solanke closing in. Sturridge within range. Lawrence. Benalouan. One added minute. Last chance for Leicester. There is going to be one more, is there? No, Ulloa not on the same wavelength as Andy King. Leicester have made them work hard for it. No surprise in that. Ndidi. Bobby Madley looks at his watch. And Liverpool have won the Asia Cup. They are the trophy winners. And they won it with a goal worthy of the occasion from Felipe Coutinho. They had to come from behind after Slimani's early header. Liverpool replied with a header of their own from Mo Salah. But they have been the main attraction here, Liverpool. You can see that. You don't really need me to tell you. But that's put a bit of pressure on the players. They've answered that pressure. And 10 years after they failed in this final, they are the Asia Trophy winners in Hong Kong.
And the fans here in Hong Kong absolutely delighted. They've got what they come to see. Players that they normally only get the chance to watch on the television, thousands of miles away, making it all the way here to Hong Kong and treating them to some great goals and winning as well, beating Crystal Palace and beating Leicester City as well. We'll hear from the triumphant manager very shortly. Before we do that, let me remind you what's coming your way in, just 3 weeks' time. Arsenal-Leicester to kick us off on Friday night. Liverpool's first game is live as well on that opening weekend. They go to Vicarage Road. And then on Super Sunday we watch Newcastle-Tottenham and Manchester United against West Ham. And it's really getting interesting now at Royal Birkdale. The third day at the Open, right now on Sky Sports, the Open. Well, Alan Smith, what did you make of that?
Well, I think the better team won in the end, courtesy of some magic from their star man, Philippe Coutinho. Just when they needed him to pull something out the bag, he did. They managed the second half pretty comfortably, didn't they, Liverpool? with their technical players, and Leicester just fell away, lost a bit of energy and couldn't get back into it.
It was the result this stadium was hoping for, it's fair to say, wasn't it?
Yes, they'd have been mightily disappointed if the Reds weren't lifting the trophy tonight.
Almost the atmosphere, it was like, I said at half-time, it was like being at Anfield, wasn't it? They were even booing poor old Johnny Evans earlier because he used to play for Manchester United.
Yes, well, old habits die hard, and they've obviously seen how the folks back in England behave, so they thought they'd follow suit. But yeah, they know all the words to walk on. So it was no, it's been a great night for the Liverpool fans in here to see their heroes in action and playing some good football too.
Well, that's the key to it, isn't it, as well, Alan? How much of a treat has it been to see not just their heroes, but to see them perform, and with real intensity at times over these two match days?
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not been a kickabout. There's been some, as you say, there's been some real intensity to the play. And although at the end of the day it doesn't matter too much if you don't win, it's always nice to lift the trophy at the end and to have overcome 3 or 2 of your Premier League rivals.
Were Liverpool the better team?
Yes, I think so.
The best team here?
Yes, well, I think we could have said that at the start, and I think they showed that out on the pitch as well. More options, more quality. Mo Salah contributed towards that significantly, so exciting times, I think, for him ahead.
Come and join us, Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. We haven't had to play football in this heat. How's it been for you?
No, it's not too bad, and only played half a match, but humidity is a test. Training this week's been a test as well, but it's pre-season and we want to get our fitness levels up, and we've got a few weeks left still to keep improving, but it's always nice to win matches.
And winning trophies as well, that's got to be nice.
Yeah, obviously that's something we want to improve on as well, and that's a big target of ours this season.
What have you made of the intensity of these games, Adam?
Just like Premier League games, obviously the heat is a factor, and our fitness levels are a factor, so maybe they're not as quick and as physical as the Premier League matches will be this season, but there's still a certain intensity to them, as you can see out there today.
So what would you like to be doing as a squad over the next 3 weeks, do you think, to get to where you want to be?
We're going to Munich when we get back, and I don't think there's going to be much commercial work out there, so it'll just be focusing on the tactical side of it and getting fit, which is what the manager will want.
Can you sum up what it's been like being a Liverpool player in this atmosphere? And it's not just today as well, it's been the whole week in the Liverpool camp, hasn't it? All the meetings and greetings that you've been out and about around the city.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's Liverpool fans are worldwide. The majority of the stadium's red. It shows that the following that this fantastic club has, and it has been intense at times. Lots of meet and greets and appearances, and then double training sessions. But it's all part and parcel of pre-season, really.
Adam, it's time for the trophy presentation, I'm told, so we're going to have to say goodbye to you. But thank you very much for your company. Have a safe trip home. And the challenges just keep going on, don't they, for the players? You heard Adam Lallana there saying it's Germany next. They're playing next weekend against Hertha Berlin. They've got a game against Bayern Munich as well. And so on. Another big game against Spanish opposition before they start their season at Vicarage Road on that opening weekend, live on Sky Sports. Right, time for Liverpool to get their hands on the trophy. We'll hand you back to Martin Tyler.
I loved what Jurgen Klopp said at the end with his English and German just mixing up a bit. We must let the ball the work do.
We all knew what he meant.
Yeah.
He's just reiterating that point. They get themselves into good positions in games, Liverpool, but they never look like that they're able to get home comfortably. Everything's a bit of a battle for them sometimes, and that's what they've got to improve on.
Well, here in the Hong Kong Stadium, which has been a home from home for Liverpool, they've come from all over the Far East to have a chance to see their heroes play, and of course they hope win and be medalists here. Just the one set of medals for the winners. Big squad, they've all had a bit of a touch of it, and they've all played their part and they're all will be dashing off to the airport as soon as they get showered back in the changing room. They fly out tonight, Liverpool, and they fly out with a cup. And it is a gearing up for a tilt at the major competitions.
It is. Look, they'll be close as it is, Martin. They'll be very, very competitive if they just acquire a couple more, not necessarily to fatten out the squad or to, in case of this player going, a couple to go in there now.
And that player to stay.
And him to stay, of course. Let's hope he does, because what he produced tonight, we've seen him do before, and he lights our league up. Don't want to see him leave.
Goalkeeping issues still perhaps to be resolved.
Yes, yeah. I think Mignolet's still in pole position there.
Nathaniel Klein instead not fully fit out here. So Dom Solanke got a goal in the semi-final. And another plus, and he's going to come up and lift up the trophy. Jordan Henderson with a few more miles on the clock in his comeback. Daniel Sturridge, a winner as he was with Chelsea here in 2011. Jorginho Wijnaldum. And the captain. Richard Masters, managing director of the Premier League, Brian Leung, and Timothy Phuc from the Hong Kong FA in charge of the actual presentation. They have been the main attraction out here in Hong Kong, and now they have the main prize. It is Liverpool. Winners of the 2017 Asia Trophy. And winners of the first competition to have 4 Premier League sides, so they've had to work that much harder to get their hands on the trophy.
They have. It's not been easy. They haven't been straightforward games, far from it. But they've looked like they've come here and they've meant business. Klopp has put his key players together. And at the start of today's game, I thought they were really good. They've started in top gear. The manager will be delighted if his boys start the Premier League season like they started this game tonight.
Well, it's been a competition full of great goals, and maybe the greatest of all has won the Asia Trophy from Felipe Coutinho to Liverpool.
Well, it's not the trophy they want, let's be honest about that. But it's a good habit, isn't it, winning, Alan?
Well, given the choice, you'd rather be lifting that trophy. It is a good habit, and one that, I mean, Adam was stood here, didn't he? And he's aware that they want to take the next step now. Having achieved Champions League football, they want to go on and challenge for the #1 spot. Whether they're capable of that or not, we shall soon see.
But ultimately a successful week for Liverpool, and here's Jurgen Klopp and his reflections now on that with Vinny O'Connor.
Jurgen, congratulations. What's the most pleasing aspect on winning the Asia Trophy?
2 games to win, so that's of course the best thing. I was very difficult again, and you see, and not 100% of your physical ability. Players like Mahrez, Marty, they all cause you problems like hell. So you're a little bit too late in mind because your legs are a little bit too tired. So you come a little bit, and then it looks really dangerous. I thought we could have defended the first goal already 7 times. At the end, it's a cross and a free header. Not nice, but happens. But we came back. We were already before the goal. We were the dominant side, played football. It was all okay. Scored 2 goals. And then second half, it was kind of mature, though a little bit in all parts. But so when we saw that Leicester obviously also feels the temperature, then we kept cool and let the ball, the work do.
What does the winning goal say about the mentality, the commitment, the focus of Philippe Coutinho?
There's no doubt about this, all these things. Why should he prove it then? He's only a fantastic footballer. He's a fantastic boy. First goal, I think it was his chip, wasn't it? So, yeah, not bad. So, you saw it, a few wonderful moments again offensively, but we have to stabilize ourselves in defense situation. I said you don't have to train. That's only really being a real defender, a real challenger in these moments. So we have the ball. Sorry, I can't say the word. Then shoot it somewhere. So but we kept it alive a little bit. Oh, what's a goal? No problem. We will work on it.
You have a trophy to collect now. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that recorded just a couple of minutes before Jurgen Klopp got his hands on the trophy, and he's rejoined the Liverpool group now, who are making their way here behind us. And you can see that most of this crowd has stayed behind just to get that final glimpse, to try and get some kind of souvenir from the players. It's just to have that really close interaction with players they would only see from the comfort of their sofas. The big question now is how they take that next step, Liverpool. Alan, what's your theory on that?
I think if you're a manager, Dave, you would want to improve all areas of the team. There's a question mark about the defence, their inability to defend set pieces. Can they cure that this coming season? Their inability last season to beat the lower sides, that's where they struggled. But I think, that's why he's brought in somebody like Mo Salah, give them a little bit more width when teams come and defend deep and narrow. So he's gone one step towards doing that. Listen, you can never say anything is certain in this life, but if they get off to a good start and the snowball starts rolling, and here he is.
I'm going to interrupt you, Alan, because Jurgen Klopp's joins again. For the last time, Jurgen, on this trip, can you sum up the experience?
Extraordinary and most difficult circumstances for a camp, to be honest. Fantastic tournament, fantastic crowd, but we had really not to work hard in training is clear, but you saw it for the players. It's unbelievable hard in a game like this. Both teams were happy after 75 minutes. Thank you very much. Let's go home. It was too much. We had really completely proper sessions. We have done the preseason. We had to go through. I'm happy now that we were here. In the beginning, didn't think, okay, nice to go to Hong Kong, but now it's really good. We had a few moments which made us really stronger as a team, and I'm completely fine with it.
We were chatting with Alan Smith and John Barnes as well. They were surprised watching at the intensity from the very start here. Did it take you aback a little bit as well?
No, I told the boys actually, really, and it's like this. Everything what we do tonight is not half that intense than what we did in training. So you can do it. It's not a problem. Today, a few will play a little bit longer than 45 minutes, but it's not about this intensity. Yes, very important, but we need to again show it in, 15 situations, how good we can be in different situations, how quick, how football-wise really strong. And then we have a situation where we can defend the ball, I would say, 8 times, until somebody, I don't know who, is completely free in the box, make the cross, and another one is completely free. It's a Slimani and it's free header, so that makes no sense. With all I like really everything in this team, but that's what we have to fix 100%, because it should not happen. And I know it's preseason, but if I'm not, I know we will change it, but I don't like it in this moment already. So we have to fix it. And
you're the perfectionist.
If I would be there, it would look different, actually.
Must be a relief, Jurgen. You've not had any injuries to speak of, really. Everybody come through okay.
A little bit now. Hopefully he's in the right moment, a little bit of muscle, but should be okay. No, right. That's the most important thing. So I like really having a medal. Little criticism, if you make our big tournament, you need to have medals also for the coaches and the stuff around. Wow. You cannot give everybody a medal and the coaches stand around and don't have one. So I now have to think who got mine.
Final thoughts. How pleased were you with? We talked about the intensity and the physicality of a game like this, but the quality that you were able to show offensively as well.
I'm not surprised, because of course in training, and that's what we showed last year, now a little bit with Mo, and by the way, the players have to make the next step, all of ours, and then with Mo involved now with his speed, and that's such an obvious skill. If you're a good challenger, you need a challenge. If you're a good header, you need a high ball to make it. His speed you see in each situation, so that's quite cool, and that was so obvious. Tom Solanke, young and very English, wonderful young player, having him in around, that he could show up here a little bit, that's nice, but much more important is because we have more of already a player which were here already last year, that they improved, and that we only talk about the new players. So all good so far. I was really happy about the performance, honestly, not about all minutes, but a lot.
3 weeks then till we see you live on Sky on the opening weekend at Watford. What do you need to do better to be in a better position for that game?
Oh, until then, everything can change. We can improve pretty much everything. It's not really likely that we lose a lot of shape. That will come when we play the tournament in Munich. That could be the moment when we have, unfortunately, a little bit of a hole. We will see. We have to go through there because now the second phase is starting in Germany. Around this tournament, yes, because we need to be really ready for the start. So it's not possible that we go through a preseason like this and everything feels easy, and then the moment when the hot August in England is coming and you think, oh my God. So that's what we have to prepare. We can improve everything, but the way we
thank you again.
So,
it stayed dry for the matches
well
as well, Jürgen. Can you believe it?
The lads will sleep on the flight, Jürgen, won't they?
Safe flight home, Jürgen Klopp. The fans were listening to every word of his. They really do. He's a messiah to them, and now, Alan, he has to deliver trophies. And we were having that conversation before Jürgen Klopp joined us about taking that next step to really challenge for the very biggest prizes. And how much harder is that going to be with the added factor of Champions League football?
Well, listen, if you're going to be a successful team at the very top of the league, you've got to take that on board, and that's why every manager wants a quality, in-depth squad, something that I'm sure he'd want one or two more bodies in, but getting those of the right quality is incredibly difficult when you've got Manchester City out there, Manchester United, all the names, Spurs.
Throwing money at it as well.
Yeah. And Liverpool aren't in that ballpark that City are they?
Do they have to, though, Liverpool? If they're going to compete at the top,
not
can
necessarily.
They do it their way?
Hey, listen, they've just played a team that won the league 2 seasons ago, so I know that was exceptional.
Context?
No, but you don't have to spend the most money in order to win the league. If you get the dressing room's got to be right. They've got a lot of quality in that team at the moment. But as he said, all the areas of the pitch he still thinks could improve. But as I'll go back to that point I made just before he turned up, if they start well and they build that momentum, you get off to a poor start, it can be difficult. But half the time it's all about confidence. I'm sure he'd love to add to it, and of course keeping Phil Coutinho is a massive job for him as well, or it's vitally important, I would say.
Absolutely, and that's a huge challenge for Liverpool over the next few weeks. Can they keep this group together while adding a little bit more star quality along the way? So Liverpool have won the Asia Trophy, beating Leicester here, and we'll have more reaction for you when we return.